Have you ever worked somewhere, maybe been on a team, where on paper, everything looked fine, but it just felt wrong? You know, there's this unseen force at play in every organization, every relationship. And when it's not there, you can feel it deep in your bones. That force is trust. And, well, it turns out it's everything.
This quote, it's just so brutally honest. It's from Gordon Bethune. Imagine this. It's your first day as the new CEO of a major airline. And that is the first thing that hits you. Not a corporate plan, not a financial analysis, but a gut feeling. It was a crummy place to work. It's that feeling of dread so many of us know. He wasn't looking at the numbers. He was sensing a deep, fundamentally human problem.
And a crummy place to work? That's just a nice way of saying it's a place where trust has died. You know that old saying, mud rolls downhill? Well, this is it in action. When the people at the top don't trust their teams, those teams don't trust each other, and you can bet the customer at the very end feels all of it. It's a vicious cycle, and for Continental Airlines in the early 90s, it was a death spiral.
And that crummy feeling? Oh, it has a price tag. A big one. $600 million. That's what Continental was losing per year back in 1994. This wasn't just about bad morale. This was a full-blown financial catastrophe. And what about stability? Forget about it. The airline turned through 10 different CEOs in just one decade. 10. That kind of revolving door at the top is the clearest sign you'll ever see that nobody knows where the ship is headed, and nobody trusts the captain to steer it anyway. So here's the most important part. The financial bleeding, the awful customer service, the constant leadership changes, all of that, those were just symptoms. The real disease, the root cause of it all, was a complete and total vacuum of trust. You can't fix the logistics until you fix the people. Okay, so how do you even begin to rebuild something that's so broken? Well, it starts with a surprisingly simple story. It's a kind of parable, really, that gets to the heart of the solution. It's all about perspective and the huge difference between just having a job and having a real purpose.
So, picture two stonemasons. They're doing the exact same work side by side. You go up to the first one and you ask him, "So, do you like your job?" And he sighs and says, "Look, I've been building this wall forever. The work is monotonous, it breaks my back, but it's a job. It pays the bills." Then you walk over to the second stonemason and you ask him the very same question. But his eyes just light up. He says, "I love my job. I'm building a cathedral."
Right there, that's the whole ballgame. Both stonemasons had the same what. They were laying stones. But only the second one truly understood his why. He wasn't just building a wall. He was part of something bigger, something that would outlast him. The why isn't about what you do. It's the purpose, the cause, the belief that gets you out of bed in the morning. And that changes absolutely everything. And this leads us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? If you've ever tried to build something, a team, a company, a movement, you've wrestled with this. How do you find the right people? It's not about finding the most skilled people. It's about finding people who can see the cathedral when it's still just a pile of rocks. So how on earth do you attract the true believers? Well, the answer is totally backwards from what you'd expect. You don't sell the dream by talking about how great the destination is. No, you sell it by being brutally honest about how hard the journey is going to be. Let's look at maybe the best job ad ever written. Just listen to this. This was a real ad from the explorer Ernest Shackleton for his Antarctic expedition. Hazardous journey, small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful. I mean, who in their right mind would apply for this job? Well, only the exact right people. Only the people who read that and felt a pull, not a push. The ad wasn't a sales pitch. It was a filter. It scared away everyone just looking for a paycheck and attracted only the ones who believed in the why of the journey itself. You see, Shackleton understood something that we now call the law of diffusion of innovations. You can't just try to appeal to everybody at once. It doesn't work. To make a real change, to start a real movement, you have to ignore the big majority in the middle, at least at first. You have to focus all your energy on that little sliver on the left, the innovators and the early adopters. They're the ones who will take a chance on you, not because you're perfect, but because they believe in what you're trying to do. They are your Shackleton crew. And this is exactly where so many brilliant ideas fall apart. Take TiVo, for example. They had a product that was truly revolutionary. But how did they market it? They talked about its features. It's what? They told everyone, hey, we have a new product. It pauses live TV. It skips commercials. It's
fine. But what if they had started with why? What if they had said, if you're the kind of person who believes you should have total control over every aspect of your life, boy, do we have a product for you. See the difference? That's not a feature. That's an identity. That's a belief. And that is what speaks to the early adopters who then spread the word to everyone else.
So when you get it right, when you find your Shackleton crew, when you lead with your why, something incredible starts to happen. You're not just selling a product anymore. You're not just trying to survive an expedition. You are building a culture of deep, profound trust, a culture that feels like a safety net.
This right here, this is one of the most powerful ways to think about a high-trust environment, a psychological safety net. And this isn't about being soft or avoiding hard things. It's about feeling safe, safe enough to be daring.
Think about it like this. A trapeze artist is already incredibly skilled, right? The net doesn't make them a better athlete, but the fact that the net is there, that gives them the confidence to try a brand new, death-defying leap. In a company, in a team, trust is that net. It gives people the psychological safety they need to innovate, to take smart risks, and to push themselves beyond what they thought was possible.
And this safety net isn't some abstract idea. It's real. You can feel it when leaders genuinely put their people ahead of the numbers. It's knowing that when you mess up, it's not a firing offense. It's a chance to learn something. It's a culture where it's okay to be vulnerable and ask for help. The reason this matters so much for you is that this is the only environment where anyone can do their best work, period. Which, really, brings us to the whole point of this. Real leadership, the kind that builds cathedrals, it has nothing to do with being in charge. It's not about your rank or your title. It's about taking on the responsibility to create that safety net for others. It's an act of service.
And there's this amazing story about General Lori Robinson of the U.S. Air Force that just perfectly captures this. Her entire approach to leadership wasn't about the orders she gave, but about the support she offered. She understood, deep down, that her most important job was to take care of her people so that they could then do their jobs. Her why was never about her own career. Her why was about clearing a path for the people coming up behind her. It was about a deep commitment to leaving the organization better than she found it. And her question at the end there, it just hangs in the air. And isn't that the point?
So in the end, this question isn't just for CEOs and generals. It's for all of us, right now, in whatever it is you're doing. Are you just laying stones, or are you building a cathedral? What cathedral are you building?